I am so excited about this EIDL loan and advance update. This is literally a Max Maher exclusive. Do I need to introduce the awkward intros again? I might have to. But anyways, we have a few questions that I've been combing through the EIDL comments on my videos to see what are the most common questions that aren't addressed anywhere else that need an answer. And I found some really good ones. I reached out to the SBA and they have provided a ton of context. So this video is going to be extremely illuminating, plus is going to contain information on the EIDL advance that will potentially put you in a much better position. Let's just do an overview of the questions and then I'll dive into the questions and the answers and get some more context where context is due, as I normally do. So the first question was about this tag glitch, TAG, that I keep on hearing about, where people have applied for the EIDL advance, but then they never receive the next email request for their 4506T, which is that tax transcript, the 2019 tax transcript request. And I want to know if there was any suggestions here for people in that position. Second, a group of people are also saying that there is an error status on their targeted EIDL, like in the portal, despite hitting all the proper criteria in order to get that bump up to $10,000. And I wanted to know if that's a known issue with a potential solution, and that's a really illuminating answer there on that one. Third, I want to know if they could provide any more insight on how the EIDL loan formula works. What is this secret formula? Is it somehow based on profit? Is it just based on expenses? If you made less money in 2020, does this affect your loan increase size? I wanted more context on this, and that's going to be really illuminating as well. I also want to know, was that based on 2019 or 2020 numbers? Fourth, I'm still hearing a lot. I almost did a 5. Fourth, I'm hearing a lot of people who hit the targeted advance criteria, but have not received any email whatsoever to invite them to the portal to apply for the targeted advance. And I want to know, is there anything that these people can do besides just calling into the SBA and seeing if the email has been sent? And let's go ahead and answer these questions, and then we're going to do the exclusive information at the end here, but it's not even worth skipping because these are all really good questions. So the first one, the tag glitch, where people get invited to the portal, but then don't get the tax transcript request. Is there any suggestions for people in this position? And the response here was, I'm so glad that you asked this question because there's a lot of misinformation out there about this so-called glitch. So apparently there isn't a glitch after all, and there's just a lot of confusion with what's going on here. So there's basically a group of people who are saying that there's a glitch and offering ideas on how to expedite the process for the EIDL grant. And again, they're saying that there's no glitch. So if you submitted the targeted EIDL advance application, but there's been no follow-up request for that 4506T, it just simply means that your application is still processing. They're basically saying that they have a huge bulk load of applications, they're still processing, and once it hits a certain stage, that's when you receive that request. It's not like an error or a glitch or anything like that. It just simply has not been processed yet, which I know that in itself is a little bit frustrating, but it's better than knowing like that you just got like kicked to the back corner and you're never going to receive a request. They're saying everyone will receive it. They're just working through the backlog right now. All applicants will receive an email notification of the applicant's status coming in the next few weeks as well. They've gotten better about doing statuses, or at least they plan to in the future. They apologize for the delays and they're processing things as quickly as possible. They're saying that some of these are going to take longer to process than others if the IRS takes a while to send that tax transcript, or if there's issues with the tax transcripts. And there's basically no way to speed up this process because every application has to go through each and every step of the process in order to, prevent fraud and, follow the process. So your application just may not be all the way along the process yet to have the tax transcript required at this point. Second question, a group of people are saying that they are receiving an error message on their EIDL portal despite hitting all the criteria in order to get that $10,000 advance. I want to know if there's a solution here. And they said that yes, this is a known issue, but one that many applicants probably have not heard about. So this is why we break these things down on this channel. The error status on the targeted EIDL advance is usually due to an identified issue after you were approved. So the two examples that they give here is, first, you're for whatever reason on the Treasury do not pay list. That's probably not the case for most people, but that's one potential reason. And then a second issue, which I'm assuming is probably more popular, is when they try to send funds for the actual advance, for whatever reason, the bank rejects the payment. Now, this is something that we've been hearing a lot with the Paycheck Protection Program as well, and I guess this is an issue here as well. So some banks are rejecting the funds or returning it to the SBA, and then the application status will go to an error marker. Then it's going to be assigned to a loan officer who's going to analyze it and then reach out to the applicant to make sure that the funds get dispersed to the right account and do some kind of verification process. And they basically say that they know that the error status can be super alarming, but in most cases, it can be resolved by contacting the SBA. So if you're seeing an error status, I would recommend just calling the SBA and trying to work it out ahead of time instead of even waiting for them to call you. It seems like it's something that can be solved in most cases. Third question, I wanted to know more information on this secret sauce, the secret formula that is used for the Eidl loan. How exactly does this work? Now, I thought that it was just revenue minus profit divided by 12 times 24. And that's the calculation, but I was actually kind of wrong. So it changes kind of based on profit or non-profit businesses. The easiest way to think of this on a for-profit business is to use your gross profit times 24. And that's your total potential amount. So if you already received some, you can deduct it from that 24 months. And also remember, you can only receive up to $500,000 as of right now. That'll be bumped up to $2 million at some point in the future. So basically, that's just your revenue minus costs of goods sold, which equals gross profit times 24. So you just take your revenue minus your cost of goods sold. If you're a service business, that's going to be extremely low. Your costs of goods sold are going to be extremely low. And you just multiply that by 24. Gross profit times 24, that's the amount you can expect. And it's self-certified in most cases. Now for nonprofits and agricultural businesses, they use their operating expenses times 24, and that's how you get the formula there. Now 3A, this is kind of an additional question here. I want to know if it was based on 2019 or 2020 numbers. And the answer here is the calculation is based on your self-certified numbers in your original EIDL application. However, they're going to check the amounts that you certified in your application versus the 2019 tax transcript. And if there's more than a 25% discrepancy in the numbers, you're going to be asked to explain, hey, why is the difference here? What's going on here? Just to verify it even further. So if there's a big discrepancy in your 2019 tax return and how much you reported, it may cause some delays as well. Fourth question, I'm still hearing of people who hit the targeted advance criteria but received no invite email at this point. I want to know if there's anything that these people can do besides calling in and just seeing, hey, was this thing sent? So first they said, check your junk and spam folders. I know a lot of people have done this and then saw that invite. So also check your promotional folders. Some people forget that that's like a thing on like Gmail. So make sure you check that as well, because a lot of people, they don't know that it was sent. The earliest emails were sent from disaster customer service at sba.gov. And then a few days later, they changed it to targeted advance at sba.gov. So you can search either one of those email addresses. And then also, this is the most important aspect here. You can also email them at those emails and ask, hey, was my invite sent? So that's even easier than a call. You can just send an email to either one of those emails and say, hey, was this sent? Just make sure you include your application number and the primary email address used for the EIDL loan application in your email to them to get an update. Also, if you applied for the EIDL before December 27, 2020, and you're in a low income census tract and you didn't receive an email invite, you can again email targetedadvance at sba.gov to request an explanation why you haven't received the EIDL email advance. So not only can you ask if it was sent, but you can also ask, hey, why wasn't I sent an email yet? And chances are you're probably gonna be sent an email. Now is on to the huge news. The huge news, I'm so excited about this. The SBA now has a way for you to get reconsideration on your EIDL grant if it was declined. This is massive and unexpected because if we remember, the guidance a couple months ago was, hey, make sure everything on your application here is perfect because you're not going to have a chance to have any reconsideration. Well, they backed up here and now there's a way to get a reconsideration. And so you can now request a reconsideration on your EIDL grant by emailing targeted advance reevaluation at sba.gov. And this is the exact note that I received. And this is what the SBA representatives receive as well. Effective immediately, applicants can send a request for reevaluation of a targeted advance application that was declined to the following email address, targetedadvancereevaluation@sba.gov. Applicants should follow these instructions. Try to follow this as closely as possible when requesting the reevaluation. So send an email to targetedadvancereevaluation@sba.gov and use the subject line reevaluation request for brackets, your 10-digit application number. Try to do that format as closely as you can. Be sure to include in the body of the email identifying information for the application, including your application number, your business name, business address, business owner names, and phone number. And also, please include an explanation and any documentation that addresses the reason for the decline, if you have that information. And also, the SBA will contact applicants if additional documentation is required to complete the review. But that is massive. That is absolutely massive that they made this change and that now you can be reconsidered for the $10,000 EIDL grant, because I know it is so huge for so many businesses and I'm just really excited about this. So make sure you like this video, subscribe again if you haven't already. Check out the link in the description for Webull to get some free stocks or some free crypto through the other links in the description. There's some really good deals down there. Again, I would just like to thank you so much for watching and I hope you have a prosperous day.